The courtroom was suffocating with silence, the kind that presses on your chest like the air before a storm. In the defendant's box stood a 17-year-old boy doll. Quiet. Black. His name was Isaiah Carter. He kept his eyes low. Not out of guilt, but survival. His hands, trembling slightly at his sides, betrayed the calm he tried to wear like armor. Across the polished floor, presiding over the case, was Judge Franklin Everett, an older white man with sharp features and a voice that cut like winter wind. He peered over his glasses, as narrowing as he regarded Isaiah. "You think this court is a joke, son?" the judge asked, voice loud enough to rattle the gallery. Isaiah didn't answer. He wasn't being disrespectful. No one had listened to him since his arrest. His public defender, Marcus Bell, shifted in his seat. He was young, new to the job, and overwhelmed by the caseload dumped on his desk. He'd met Isaiah only 2 days earlier and hadn't even remembered his name the first time. Now, he sat tight-lipped beside the boy, unsure whether to speak or stay silent. Judge Everett leaned back, disgusted. "This is why we have crime. No accountability, no structure. And now you're standing there expecting sympathy?" The judge gestured to the courtroom, which looked disinterested. People whispered. Phones buzzed. No one cared that Isaiah was an honor student with no criminal record. No one cared he'd never been in trouble before. Earlier that week, Isaiah had been walking home from tutoring when a store alarm shrieked into the air. Security gave chase. Someone shouted, "That's him." And that was enough. Hoodie, sneakers, black. That was the entire description. Moments later, he was face first on the hood of a cruiser. "You were found near the store minutes after the robbery," the judge continued, flipping through the case file with deliberate irritation. "No alibi, no witness, and your fingerprints on a bench outside. Convenient, isn't it?" Isaiah lifted his eyes briefly, but the judge wasn't looking. He was too busy writing the ending before the beginning had been heard. The boy remained silent. "Do you have anything to say before I pass sentencing?" the judge asked, fingers poised above the gavel. Bell leaned toward Isaiah. "We can appeal. You don't have to say anything right now." Isaiah looked from Bell to the officer standing by the door, Officer Chad Brunner, the man who'd slammed him into the patrol car, who'd whispered, "You little thug," during the search. Isaiah clenched his fists and said quietly, "I didn't do anything." The judge rolled his eyes. "Of course you didn't. No one ever does." Something inside Isaiah cracked. Not from fear. From rage. He looked up, voice trembling with restraint. "You already decided I'm guilty. You saw my hoodie and filled in the rest. Watch your tone." The judge barked. "You're not here for justice. You're here to teach me a lesson." A hush fell. Even the gallery leaned forward. In the back row, his mother, Dana Carter, wiped tears with a trembling hand. "Silence in the court," the judge snapped. Another outburst. "And I'll hold you in contempt." "You already hold me in contempt," Isaiah replied. The room went still. "I walk home from school," he said, voice growing steadier. "I carry textbooks, not stolen goods. But no one asked me that. No one asked me anything." "Are you accusing this court of bias?" the judge said. "I'm saying the system sees black before it sees truth." Gasps rippled. Bell placed a hand on Isaiah's arm, whispering for him to stop. But something had shifted. People were listening. "This isn't about race," Everett said. "It's about evidence." "Then look at the evidence. Not the color of my skin." Suddenly, the side door opened. A clerk entered, whispering something to the judge. He handed over a folder marked urgent. The judge opened it with a scowl. Inside were surveillance stills. Clear ones. New ones. The footage showed a different boy, taller, broader, running from the store. He wore the same brand hoodie, but the face was unmistakably not Isaiah's. The timestamp proved Isaiah couldn't have been there. Silence returned. Judge Everett stared at Isaiah, who stood motionless, dignity intact. "You have anything to say now?" Isaiah asked, his voice unwavering. The judge said nothing. Isaiah sat down slowly, his expression calm. For the first time, he felt in control. He hadn't shouted, hadn't begged. He simply forced the room to see him. He was a student, a brother, a son, member of the debate team, mathlete, volunteer at the rec center. But none of it had mattered when the cuffs clicked. East Side wasn't easy. His mother always said, "You'll have to be twice as good to be seen as equal." He hadn't understood it then. He did now. The night of his arrest, Isaiah had walked the same route he always took. He had headphones in, backpack full of books, and a full heart. The sirens were sudden. The grip on his arm. Too hard. No words. Just the shove onto the hood. The next morning, Dana had to beg for hours just to see her son. The bruises on his face made her gasp. He hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, hadn't been told why. At school, things changed. People whispered. Teachers averted their eyes. Some believed he was guilty. Others didn't care. His trial date came too fast. Bell, juggling cases, tried his best but was clearly out of his depth. Isaiah wore his only suit, stood tall, and braced for impact. The prosecution spoke with the confidence of a man who'd already won. Described Isaiah as urban. A likely offender. Fits the profile. He's from East Side. The DA said. His kind doesn't usually have solid alibis. Isaiah's jaw tightened. His kind. He scanned the jury. No one flinched. No one objected. During recess, 2 officers nearby joked. Thinks that suit makes him innocent. He'll be back. They always come back. Isaiah heard it. Felt it. Swallowed it. Back inside. His mother took the stand. Spoke of his grades. Character. Dreams. The judge didn't look up. His teacher followed Mr. Klein. He spoke of leadership. Integrity. Still. The prosecution scoffed. Character means nothing under pressure. They said. Then came the footage. A blurry frame. Unclear. That's your client, right? No. Isaiah said. I was at the library. They didn't check the library. Didn't call the librarian. Just played the footage again. When Isaiah whispered to Bell, they already decided who I am. Bell nodded sadly. Let's prove them wrong. Then Isaiah stood. People like me? He repeated. Loud and clear. I've spent my life trying to be better than your expectations. And it's still not enough. Gasps. The judge scowled. You're walking a fine line. Mr. Carter. Where's that line? Your Honor? Isaiah asked. At the back of the room? Head down? Mouth shut? Silence fell again. Dana whispered prayers. Bell opened his briefcase. Pulled out a folder. What is this? The judge asked. Certified records from the state bar. Affidavit from a federal judge. The judge looked confused. Isaiah spoke. My father. Judge Robert Carter. He's a federal judge. He mentored you in your clerkship. The courtroom erupted in murmurs. The prosecutor turned ghost pale. A photo showed the judge shaking hands with Robert Carter. Proud smiles frozen in time. I didn't want to bring him into this. Isaiah said. Because this should be about truth, not connections. But I'm done letting you act like I'm just another name to cross off a list. The bailiffs stood still now. The prosecutor stumbled. Why didn't you say this earlier? I shouldn't have to. Isaiah replied. My innocence should not depend on who my father is. People began to murmur. Heads turned. Not toward Isaiah, but toward the bench. Then the courtroom doors opened. A tall man entered. Commanding the room with quiet force. Sharp suit. Briefcase. Badge. Assisting you. S. Attorney Jamal Carter. Isaiah smiled. Hey. Big bro. Jamal walked straight to the bench. Your Honor. We're filing a judicial ethics complaint and requesting a review for racial bias in this courtroom. The judge paled. Jamal. We were colleagues. You stood next to my father and smiled. Jamal said. But when his son came through your court, you treated him like a criminal. He turned to the DA. Expect a federal review of your office's prosecution trends. The gallery was silent. Dana covered her mouth, tears falling. Isaiah walked over, helped her up. This is what justice should feel like. He whispered. He turned to Everett one last time. You could have been fair. You chose to be biased. That's your legacy. Then he walked out. No applause. No celebration. Just power and silence. Outside, the air felt new. Fresh. He looked to the sky. His mother took his hand. His brother stood beside him. You good? Jamal asked. Isaiah nodded. Good. Tired. But good. People gathered. Nods of respect. Quiet claps. One older man said, You didn't just win for yourself. You won for all of us. Isaiah thanked him. He meant it. Because today wasn't just about freedom. It was about truth. Later that night, on the porch, Isaiah opened his phone, typed a note. Respect isn't earned by silence. It's demanded by standing tall. He closed it. Leaned back. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. Because the system didn't break him. And that meant it would never break the next one like him. And one day, that system would fall. Not with rage, but with truth. With dignity. With voices like Isaiah's. Unapologetic. Unbreakable. Heard.